Your Excellency, today is about stories. Before I come to the story of Twiga, we have another story, the story of Tatu City. And I want to applaud Stephen Jennings and the Tatu City team. It is not easy. It is not easy, especially in this country, to close your ears to detractors. And there are many detractors. And this morning, Steve and I had a conversation and agreed that we are going to move until you tell us to stop. I know there's been a lot of, people to pull you back left and right, but I think your government and the work you've given us is to really promote foreign direct investment, promote domestic investment, and create an environment that is conducive for doing business. And there's one thing you've also taught us, to look at the positive side of people, not the negative side. If you want to see the negative side of people, you'll find so many negatives. But I think it's possible to focus on the positive things that are happening. So I want to assure Steve that we're going to sit together, as indeed the President has directed this morning, look at our framework for the special economic zones. We have got 13 privately licensed special economic zones in this country. And among them, very, very few have taken off. And Tatu City is one of them. And I'm very proud of that. So we're going to work with Tatu City to move, create a good benchmark for other private special economic zones, review the framework, and generally ensure that we are working together, because this is a shared responsibility between the private investors and ourselves. And I dare say that those people who are doing nothing should not fault those people who are trying to do something. So ours as a government is to support those people who are trying to do something, even if they're not perfect. I always believe that every sinner has a future and every angel has a past. So we will work together and fix those few issues and be able to move forward. Your Excellency, also we have got our 8 to 9 public sector special economic zones, which you have given us a lot of support. Last week we were together in South Korea. We witnessed what special economic zones can do. You've given us a lot of support and direction in terms of creating the management unit for our Dongo Kundus, our Naivashas, our Saganas, and on top of that also the flagship county industrial parks that we're going to develop. So we work together both from the private special economic zones and also the public economic zones. Let me now turn to the story of Twiga. I'm sure most people here are seeing the story of Twiga, the story of Peter Njonjo, and a guy who sold his matrimonial home. And I see it differently, Your Excellency. The story of Twiga is the story of my mother. My mother educated me by selling bananas, ripened bananas at Kawangware Market. And she could go all over Uganda and Sagana and Kirinyaga in Kisii to look for bananas. She didn't have two things. She didn't have the 16 billion shillings that Peter Njonjo has managed to fundraise to build Twiga to what it is. And she didn't have the technology. Otherwise, she could have been a bigger entrepreneur than Peter Njonjo. And among her customers had to walk from satellite to buy bananas from Kawangware Market. And I think my mother records, she remembers remotely seeing Madam Rachel Ruto buying bananas when you were staying in satellite, because there was no mobile phones and there was no technology. Otherwise, if my mother had those benefits, it could have been bigger. But this is a beauty of what is happening today with companies like Twiga, that they can be able to put together on a technology platform 120,000 retailers. What we've seen here, 20,000 square meter of aggregation space, which is now getting into industrial space, is nothing but truly remarkable. And that is why when you confirmed attendance to this event, I called Peter and I told Peter, if you don't find a way of aligning this Twiga of yours with our bottom-up agenda, I will be in trouble and I don't want to be fired. So we have to very quickly work up on a program, and today you are going to witness the signing of a tripartite agreement between my ministry, Simon Chergui's ministry, and Twiga Foods. And under this framework, as Peter has really mentioned, is that because we are putting up aggregation centers, micro manufacturing parks in every county, we are going to give access to Twiga to be able to offtake from those centers. Today, Twiga is only utilizing 30% of their capacity. For me, that is unfortunate, truly unfortunate. But there's some work that we have to do also. Twiga have done their bit. It's now for us to do. Set up these industrial parks. I already have an offer of close to 150 acres of space, aggregation space from the county government of Nyeri. I am going to have discussion with my friend Sakaja to look at if I can do something with 120 acres in Nyeri. What about Jamhuri Showground? 600 acres that we use for only 1 week a year. We don't want a trade fair for 1 week. We want a trade fair every day that is bringing money and providing access to our market. And indeed, we can do it. So other than that, we discussed about the access to the Hustler Fund. Today, I'm told that Twiga gives 3 days credit to the retailers, and after that day, the retailers can be able to access credit at the rate of 1% per day. And using the Hustler Fund, that story will be converted from 365% per annum to 8% under the Hustler Fund. The biggest transformation that our country will ever get. And the bigger story is that the Hustler Fund has a space for everyone. Like we started M-Pesa like a joke. Today everybody is struggling to find their space within M-Pesa. I look forward, within only 1 year, everybody will be saying, I am Hustler Fund compliant, because they will have something to do the Hustler Fund. And what we are going to do with my brother Simon is to create a framework where everybody can be able to hook up into the Hustler Fund. Finally, Your Excellency, we have agreed with Peter that the aggregation centers which you are supporting us, the export aggregation centers in Uganda, in DRC, in South Africa, in Dubai, in the US, in South Korea, where we were last week, that we can be able to use our technology-driven distributors like Twiga, like Market Force and others to be able to help us in expanding our exports and creating a last mile infrastructure for being able to drive the Kenyan product. So all these things is because we are a government that is welcoming to investors, that is willing to work with private sector under the public-private partnership. I do believe that we were in South Korea last week and we saw an economy that is 18 times as big as our economy in terms of GDP. Yet some 50-60 years ago, we were giving them money. Same population, around 50 million people, it is doable. And we are going to do. In doing this, we are going to have some division of labor. What you have shown us is to focus on work. We are focusing on work. There are some other Kenyans who left to also make some noise, and also they also our people. So we just have to divide this work. We'll keep the focus, we keep working, and others will have to do what they are good at. So with those few remarks, may I ask that we be upstanding as we welcome the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, to make his remarks.